hold the bat further down and just give it a good old swing.
It goes, there's that audio, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thanksgiving, whatever.
Right, but it's days. This is happening in days. This is quick now.
Is it a good read?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little repetitive, isn't it? We've been here 6 months and he's written that. Hey, welcome to Screen Time, the show where we watch movies from our past and re-experience them, or new movies afresh.
Yes.
And if you like this sort of content and our chit-chat, please like and subscribe so that you can watch future publishers.
Yes.
Or some of our past material.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Right.
And this week, we've watched a horror classic.
Yes, we have.
We have watched The Shining 1980.
So, The Shining from 1980. Let's go through the cast.
Yes.
We've got Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. We've got Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance. We've got Danny Lloyd as Danny Torrance. And we've got Scatman Carruthers as Mr. Hallorann. So, when did you first watch The Shining, Lou?
I think the first time I watched The Shining was it might have been a hire from a video store.
Rental, yeah.
Or was on television. It would have probably been a girls' night, stay over.
Okay.
Scared the bejesus out of me and probably all of us. I think this had a lasting impression the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember when I first saw this, but I've seen it so many times that you forget when the initial thrill was when you first saw it, if you know what I mean.
I remember it really scaring.
But you were telling me earlier, you were saying that you think you saw it after you watched Sleep.
Yes, well, because the movie has this big start for me. It's a big start because it's a powerful orchestral piece that's played, and it's very, dun, dun, it has a big. It creates a feeling straight
away.
It's
quite threatening.
Yeah. This tune is used in Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yes.
And in Sleeping with the Enemy, whenever the bad character was around, this music would be played. And I remember that having such an impact on me to the point where when our father happened to put this music on, it freaked me out. And for some reason, I thought that the guy was going to come around the corner or something, or I'd open a cupboard and all the cans of, Campbell's meatballs or whatever be in order. So when I heard this being played...
It's the sort of thing our brother would have targeted you
on.
It's my
dad.
Yes, but it's the sort of thing also our brother would have gone, let's tease.
Yeah.
Let's hide behind the corner.
In a jacket.
Yeah. So I can understand your fear. But it's actually, the music is a Symphonie Fantastique by Berlioz. But it's an interpretation of it. It's Wendy Carlos who did the music for Tron. So it's all synthetic, all synthesizer. So it's her version of it. And then incorporated into the soundtrack, you've got the amazing visuals as you're flying. It's like a helicopter shot over. And any other music along with that is like, oh my God, this is the most pastoral, beautiful scenery.
I mean, absolutely. If you had National Lampoon's Vacation, I mean, it would be like, la 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 as you're going across it.
Exactly. It's amazing what music does to a scene. And you're following this car up the road and whatever. And there's some amazing shots where the camera is actually going really close to the car and then sweeps out back out over the scenery again.
The one thing that you are made very aware of right from the start is that you don't see any other houses.
No,
I don't think you even see any other cars. There's this solitude already.
Yeah, absolute isolation.
And the music as well, as you were saying, it's a manipulated form of that piece, and you hear sort of cries and screams. Yeah,
but also to throw you off a little bit is that most opening credits scroll this way down the screen. And it scrolls up, like The Shining comes up from below, and then all the names and everything scroll up the screen. So it's It's really weird.
So, I mean, it is. It plays with something that you are so natural seeing another way.
That it's
Your
disconcerting.
comfort that it's suddenly uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And it's just these small little hidden things. But I mean, this movie does not go small.
No, it's everything is, you know, that everything has been thought about and considered.
Do you want to tell a bit of the premise?
Yes. Oh gosh, we've gone completely. We haven't even mentioned the plot. So the plot, I mean, if you haven't seen The Shining, you must have heard of The Shining and you probably know the story anyway. But the main character, Jack Torrance, has applied to be the caretaker at the Overlook Hotel while it's out of season.
I've got an appointment with Mr. Ullman. My name's Jack Torrance.
His office is the first door on the left.
The reason he does that is that he's a writer and he needs the sort of like quiet to actually sort of compose his book.
I'm outlining a new writing project, and 5 months of peace is just what I want.
Him and his family move up to this hotel and they become the unwitting sort of target, I guess, of the hotel and all of the spirits and everything that reside in the hotel. Yeah, that's it in its basic core, isn't it? Yeah. And the reason the title is The Shining is their little boy has this gift, this psychic gift where he can perceive things. And it's called The Shining, this gift. So
I wouldn't necessarily call it a gift.
It's more of a curse than a gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, Mrs. Torrance. Well, how come you don't want to go?
I wouldn't want it.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
Right from the beginning as well, you've got these interludes that happen. So you've got like the interview.
Yeah. The interview is soft though.
Oh, it's a soft.
You know, I love the interview because you get to see the hotel all buzzing, everyone's getting ready to leave. Yeah. I wouldn't mind staying there. No, it's bustling.
Hope you haven't been waiting too long.
No problem. In fact, we had time to grab a bite to eat.
Everyone's really friendly. And you just think, oh, this is rather nice.
He's
and
like,
it feels
bye,
cozy
girls,
and warm. Yeah.
Like they're all leaving. Bye, girls.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, go with the girls. Just leave.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
leave
now
this
that I
place.
know the movie, I would not want to walk down a corridor
like,
on my own. And, you know, that flowery, floral wallpaper, that area kind of feels cozy, but you know it's not an area you want to be on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I love that intro, and you get the sense something's not quite right when the man in charge says, I have to be honest with you about something.
Yeah.
He killed his family with an axe, stacked them neatly in one of the rooms of the West Wing.
Now, if you were in that interview and you were told that piece of information, would you say, oh, my kid will love that?
Well, you wouldn't be gunning for the job, would you?
As far as my wife is concerned, I'm sure she'll be absolutely fascinated.
It's a weird moment, and also in conjunction with that as well, you get a cutaway back to Danny back home.
Yes.
And he's standing in front of this mirror talking to his friend Tony, asking about the hotel and saying, is Daddy going to get the job? And yes, he's going to call up in a minute and tell Wendy that he's got it. And of course, he does call up and tell her.
Sounds like you got the job?
Right. It's a beautiful place.
So you immediately go, oh, this kid has got something going on here. And it's immediately creepy.
Well, it is because he says, I don't want to tell you about the hotel. And then he said, oh, no, well, tell me.
Yeah. And then you get a flash. You get the flash of that. Okay, so you get that. And I'm sure people have seen that shot with the elevator doors opening and the blood pouring.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like almost like a gif or a meme now of these things happening. And I did have a stat here. 300 gallons of fake blood were used for that sequence. I just hope they only did it in one take. I mean,
for the cleanup.
I mean, anyway, yeah. So that
wow.
Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? Then you cut to them in the car driving up there. And it's weird because it's almost like Jack Torrance has already started to sort of be quite earnest in his behaviour. He's like quite dismissive of his kid.
He's dismissive and he's a bit short, isn't he?
It's almost like he wants to just get there.
I'm hungry.
Well, you should have eaten your breakfast.
And he's like, oh, well, of course he knows about this because he's seen it on the television, like violence or something.
Yeah.
And, you just think, oh,
That's a weird way of delivering it. Yeah.
See? It's okay. You saw it on the television.
But then you get a long introduction of the hotel, which is quite good because it's your first time seeing the hotel. It shows you how immense it is.
yes.
It shows how big the kitchens are, how much food there is being stored, the length of the corridors, that just everything is just, and then it highlights the isolation of how small these people are in this
Within
massive
it. Yeah.
building.
I mean, the tour is actually for you, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's you.
The interview and the tour is very much for the viewer.
Yeah.
And when there's no one there, the way that it's dressed really plays a big part in how you feel in each of these rooms, because there's a moment when Jack isn't in the big lounge area or dining room area where he is doing his writing. Wendy is walking through it, and there's that real sense of like echoing.
Jack?
And you notice that when he's actually throwing the ball against the wall, which I think is really rude. Because, like, would you be throwing a ball against the wall in a proper?
Because as the caretaker, you'd be like, oh, now I've got to touch that up.
What's happened here?
These red circles everywhere.
But I mean, anyway, so he's throwing this ball in this vast room, and you just get this echoing noise, and it just, everything about it gives you that sense of solitude.
Yeah.
And the same thing when Danny's on his little cart,
Yeah.
his tricycle, and he's going around, and the wooden flooring is like really rumbly, and then suddenly there's no noise at all because it's going over the carpet, and there's no soundtrack. It's just the sound effects.
But it's almost rhythmic. It's like
yeah. And in some ways it becomes comforting until it's not, until he turns a corner, and then you have a visual of something that isn't right,
which is a little long later into the film. But you get, what I like is that you get comfortable with this camera. So the camera is following Danny on his. So they introduce this moving camera behind Danny on his trike, and it's a really clever shot. He's going around these corners and stuff, and so you're used to that. You're used to seeing this, and then so when you do see a reveal, it's a bit of like whoa, and then of course the boom noise, the soundtrack comes in. And it's such a shock when you first see it. It's effective.
The sound design and the use of music is, I mean, you don't hear much music. The only time really you hear music is when something's about to happen. I wouldn't even necessarily call it music.
No,
it's sounds.
Soundscape, isn't
it's
it?
weird sounds. Yeah. You have the drumming beat, which feels like a heartbeat. There's that one that's used quite a lot. And then there's one that's kind of like a real piercing.
Yeah, usually that's when there's something that Danny's experiencing, because Danny sees things on a different frequency, I think. Particularly if it's a spiritual thing, he's going to see something and you get that high whine. It's like, and it gets louder and louder. And when you're first introduced to that, I think it's with the Mr. Hallorann when he's talking about the ice cream, and you don't hear what Mr. Hallorann. No, you do hear what Mr. Hallorann's talking about, and over him talking, he looks back at Danny, and loudly over the top, you hear Mr. Hallorann go, "Would you like some ice cream, Danny?"
How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
And it's such a like. Because it's a weird choice of something to bring up as well, because on my first time when I first watched it, it made me feel like Mr. Hallorann was a bit predatory in some ways. It was like, maybe it's just time that's...
Come and have some ice cream,
it's a little bit like, oh, no. It turns out he's not.
No.
And, but he's almost testing. He realises that Danny has The Shining.
Yes.
And is communicating with him, and just assumes that Danny is okay with this. And they have that great bit of exposition talk where he explains what The Shining is, and that his grandma used to talk to him with no vocabulary. They just used to speak.
Yeah. And it's in a very quiet location.
Quiet little scene. It's just them and their ice cream. And Mr. Hallorann can't understand why Danny doesn't want to talk about it. And I think that Tony is some sort of advisor to him that is protecting him. He knows there's something wrong going on here.
Yeah.
And he should not be broadcasting it to this hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep the
this
barriers
gift.
up, pretend
protect
that
yourself.
you're like everyone else.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mr. Hallorann, what is in room 237?
Nothing.
But it's a really great little scene, that, I think, because it, again, educates the viewer
Yes.
as to what is going on.
No, absolutely. Danny at one point is in the games room, and this is actually the beginning when there's still people in the hotel. But he's in the games room. The parents have said, "Oh, he's discovered the games room. We'll collect him from there." And he's just thrown some darts.
That's before the Mr. Hallorann ice cream,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah. So this
and
is the first
he's
time.
throwing darts, and as he's picking up the darts, you get that little squeal noise, and he turns, and there's these two girls in the doorway. And well, you mean, you know that something's not quite right, because they walk
in
and
like
out
almost
together.
like they're attached with
exactly.
But again, that scene introduces quite a common camera move that it does just before a reveal of something like that, and that's like a jump zoom in. You've got Danny on the board like that, and he turns around and reacts to what he's seeing, and the camera zooms in on Danny, and then it cuts to what you're seeing.
Right.
They use that quite a lot in the film. It's almost like a pattern of what happens.
The use of camera and the use of different camera techniques, there's a plenty in this, isn't there? I think there's an element of establishing the changing of Jack's sort of status and how he is in relation to his wife and his child, and in terms of how he's becoming more powerful, or how he's starting to change within the hotel, like the hotel's taking over him. The camera moves can be quite disorientating for the viewer, and I think that creates the instability of what is going on here, what's going on with him, something's not quite right with him, and it just muddles everything up and distorts things, and it gets worse as it goes on. And I think, you know, there's a moment when he's really starting to lose it. There's a moment where he is locked in the fridge.
You've got a big surprise coming to you.
And he's leaning in the fridge, and the camera is actually underneath him, looking up, and you see him kind of pushing like this, and suddenly you're really inferior to him.
Yeah.
And so, even though he's locked in, there's still that thing of he's got the upper hand here, even though he's there.
Yes, exactly.
You know? And again, and it's all the way through. It sort of starts to establish this, as you say, really from early on. Like when they're still getting to know the hotel, and Wendy and Danny go out into the maze. They're in the maze, and he's I think that's when he's throwing the ball and stuff. He's trying to work out what to write with his book, and he's in that room on his own, and you know, he starts to sort of walk a bit more like this, and it's just something troubling. And then he goes and he stands over a little like model maze that's in the room, and he puts his hands and he sort of leans over it, and then the camera has an aerial shot of the model and then zooms in, and then you actually zoom into the maze, and you've got them walking around, and you zoom right in. It's like an effects shot. And it's a weird position, because it feels like, he's
dominating?
He's dominating over it, but also, are we in a different zone, like
realm,
are we like outside of this life that they're in there, and he's there, and it feels very disjointed.
It's almost like it's got a surreal quality to it, doesn't it? As soon as you watch it, you go, well, that's not how big the maze is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so you know that it's like this surreal moment where he's zooming in, and it is actually a model shot of the maze, but then in the center, I believe they had to go and film it somewhere. They built a partial maze in this alleyway, and they went up onto an apartment building and shot it from above.
Right.
And then they comped the two things together. But it's kind of seamless.
Yeah.
I mean, for 1980.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no harsh
because you
matte
see
lines.
You
It's like,
see them walking and
yeah,
you
it's
think,
really, really
okay.
well done. What I like about the film is that you've got these little interludes in between. It's almost like little chapters. And to be honest, the chapters don't really mean anything. They
No.
say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thanksgiving, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't really have any, it gives you a slight indication that, 3 months have passed.
Some of it's like a breather as well.
But
Because
it's like a
something's
breather,
happened.
so-
It's like,
And it always happens at a really key moment. It's like, and then bam.
yeah.
And so that bam also helps as a bit of a jump scare. It's kind of like a reset. And then you go into the next one, like, oh my gosh, okay, what next? You know?
Yes.
I didn't think it's gonna be this big, did you? No?
I think that also happens because in the same sort of timeline when they're in the maze,
Yeah.
there's a shot of him just staring outside the window
Mhm.
or staring, looking out of the
Out,
window.
yeah.
And, he has like his arched
Signature.
eyebrows, but he has no expression at all.
just
He's
looking
just this
More and more.
stare.
Yeah.
And the lighting is so white on his
Yes,
face.
yeah.
And his hair's starting to
Yeah.
look a little
Stubble's coming in.
disheveled.
Yeah.
And suddenly I think it does go to black there.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to,
Yeah,
I don't
it
know,
does.
Tuesday or something.
Wednesday, yeah.
And I think that's kind of like, it started.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
What's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? But ultimately, it's like those days of the week don't really mean anything. It's
No,
it's
but I
literally
think initially it says a month
a month later
or something.
Yeah.
But when it goes to days, you start to feel in yourself, this is progressing quickly.
Yes.
Because we're on days.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
doesn't matter if it's Tuesday and then Sunday.
No.
You're not even registering. You're
No.
like, but it's days. This is happening in days. This is quick now. We're really rolling here.
Yeah. It's the first movie that used the Steadicam, which is the camera that follows Danny around on his scooter.
Yeah.
And it's such a successful shot, and you've got the audio of the different surfaces that he's going over and stuff. So I loved all of that. But then they use it again in the maze, and it's such a fluid way of following the characters. And there's a bit where they get to a dead end, and obviously the Steadicam cameraman walks around them, and so they sort of walk in. You see that there's a dead end, and then he walks around them, and they turn around, and so he's then behind them at this point, because there's some shots where he's walking with them and they're...
Yeah.
And it's really unnerving. And I think also at the time, it was so sort of like, wow, what is this? It's like you are walking with them. You're experiencing them. And it doesn't reveal what's around the corner.
No, exactly.
So it's quite late. So they turn the corner and then you follow them.
You're kind of going...
Yeah.
as you're sitting on the sofa. It's a bit like that.
But what I love is that they introduce you to that camera quite early on. So you've got Danny on his trike, you've got them walking around the maze, and then you get the reveal of him cycling along and him turning the corner, and then boom, you've got the shot of the two little girls standing at the end
and I
of
think
the
the
corridor.
music has
It's
that
like
big chime, isn't it? It's like that massive...
There's a big jump kind of soundtrack.
When you experience that, another technique that they do a lot in this movie is you get those quick cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And ever. And ever.
You see something for a split second which jolts you. I mean, you're never really
It's almost subliminal. I mean,
you're
if it
not
was
allowed
shot-
to relax, really.
No.
It's like a blink of an eye.
Yeah, it is.
And you're like, you see something and you're like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
And
then they repeat it.
And then they repeat it.
And they go closer.
Yeah.
And they repeat it and they go closer.
Yes.
And it's like, did I see that? Oh no, I'm seeing it. Oh no, I don't
want to see
it.
it. Yes.
Let's talk about room 237.
Because?
Well, I was just going to talk about the decor in it and stuff like that, because you walk in and it's beautifully furnished. It's 1970s, beautifully furnished. So it's a real kind of like dichotomy in some ways, because it's like, is that the right word? No.
I don't know, but
You know that it's the bathroom. You've been told that there's a woman in the bathtub.
yes. In some ways, it's quite refreshing to see a different room.
Yeah.
Because you get so familiar with all of these different big spaces that actually you go into a little room and it is nicely decorated and there's an element of coziness.
Yeah.
And then, of course, but then when you turn the corner and there's the steam and there's the pulled shower curtain.
Yeah. You don't know at that point whether it is in the imagination. Even though the curtain's shut, you can't really determine whether there's someone in the bath. And then you suddenly see like this figure behind it and the curtain gets pulled across. And it's all done so slow.
Yes.
And there's a brilliant bit where it's almost like the bathtub is like a shield. And it's not until her foot comes out of the bath and touches the carpet that it goes, there's that audio like this as she comes out. And you're like, okay. She's not going to remain in the bath. She's coming forward.
Yeah.
And it's so slow and deliberate. And it's the long takes in this film. I think people, particularly nowadays, we're used to very quick cuts. And this film holds on things so long to the point where you're like, oh, this is awkward. This is awkward. The only equivalent I can think of is there's a scene in The Exorcist 3, which you probably haven't seen. That the hold on this one particular shot is so long that you're like you're looking every cuppa. Well, you're looking everywhere. You're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's a bit like the paranormal activities where they lock off the camera.
Yeah.
And you're looking for
anything.
Well,
you're made to look around, aren't you?
But in The Exorcist 3, they lock off this thing, and you're there for about 5 minutes with people walking in and out, and you're thinking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then when it does happen, there's like a crash zoom. They go straight up to it, and you're like, wow! It's worth a watch.
Don't need to watch that.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just teasing.
I've gone completely off subject. Completely off.
But yes, you're right. And I think there's a few parts in this movie which it sort of confirms that living people are in trouble. And when he embraces this woman in the bathtub, and also in some ways when that ball gets thrown to Danny as well, it's like a crossing of a line.
Yeah.
And when Danny comes back from 237 and he's got those holes in his top,
he's got bruising on
and
his
he's got
neck.
bruising, you just suddenly realise they can be harmed.
This
It's
isn't
not
spirit.
just, oh, there's a ghost, oh my God.
Oh my God. Danny, what happened to your neck?
Yeah.
It's a ghost that can actually do
The
harm,
physicality.
and you can
Yeah.
touch them. And when you know that, it makes it a lot. Well, when
goes
I
up a
watched
level.
it years ago,
it goes up a level.
it makes it a lot scarier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you realise they can be harmed.
Yeah.
And that for me is the terrifying part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, also the loss of skin and
Oh yeah, of the
the transformation.
The transformation.
Yeah. And the laughter.
Yeah. It's a
It's
very effective,
it
and
is.
no wonder it's one of those scenes that has kind of lived on, and there's pastiches of it, and
There's other scenes where he's communicating and you do wonder if it's in his mind. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that when that first happened, I did wonder if it was in his mind, but because we'd had Danny already, then you realise that there was probably, it was probably real.
Yeah.
But then there's other moments where you wonder, is it just him starting to go a bit,
well,
or not? Because when he goes into the dance,
the hall,
and he has that interaction
with the barman,
and then he goes into the bathroom, and he meets you know who.
Yeah.
What'll it be?
I'm awfully glad you asked me that, Lloyd.
All these things make you question if Wendy went in there, would she see the same thing?
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. I mean, the movie, it's still spoken about so much because it's not clear what's going on.
No.
I mean, all you can kind of think is that the hotel is its own entity, and it's almost like it's collecting. It's almost like it's collecting souls.
As soon as you get into a certain vicinity of it,
then
it's got you.
It's trying to own you. And you know that, like Grady, like the barman, like, the woman in the tub, it's almost like Jack is going to become part of it.
Yeah. Well, he ends up being part of their history.
He does end up being part of their history, which is another thing that throws quite a lot of people off because he's just like, oh, and when you get that
there all the
reveal-
time?
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's been told that he's always been the caretaker there.
I'm sorry to differ with you, sir. But you are the caretaker.
It's an unusual kind of subject, and so it's a bit of a mind twist towards the end.
When I watch it now, it doesn't scare me. There are still some moments in this movie which are still really hold my attention, and that's actually more the action sides of it.
Yeah.
It's the later parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it does. I mean, anything that's action, it gets you on board and you still wanting her to get out and you still feel that nervousness.
Yeah.
Wendy, I'm home.
I always think, what's going to happen with the boy in the maze in the snow?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Even though you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times,
Yeah.
but I still go through
The anxiety.
the anxiety of those moments.
Because the way they've shot it is like in the maze bit where Danny is trying to retrace his footsteps back so he can fool his father that he's gone further up the maze, and then he jumps out of the way, and they keep intercutting that with Jack. Following him, really close up to the camera, and thinking, when is he going to catch up to him? When is he? Has he got enough time to do this?
Yes,
So-
and also when he's running after, you
Yeah.
just think he's going to come around a corner
Yeah.
or something.
Well, because you're following Jack, but you're also in the Steadicam following Danny, and you're close to Danny, and you're thinking, is this Jack's point of view following Danny? It's like,
Yes.
he's right behind you, he's right behind
Yes.
you. It's really cleverly done.
It's really cleverly done. And I think also, I'm still, even to this day, wanting to grab that bat off of Wendy.
Stay away from me! Don't hurt me!
I'm not gonna hurt you.
And either knocking her out with it or just doing the job myself, because it's so infuriating. I mean, it's brilliant because it has the exact effect it's meant to.
Yeah.
It's meant, it's her character, it's who she is,
Yeah.
and she's exhausted.
Yes.
But for the love of goodness knows what, hold the bat further down and just give it a good old swing.
I made a note here of how many times they reshot that scene. I think it was about 127 takes they did of that
poor
scene
woman.
going up the stairwell.
That poor
But what I
woman.
love is the composition of that shot, because although
she's higher
than him, so she's got seniority in the scene, yet he occupies more of the frame. So it's almost like the balance is kind of like, what is going on
I
here?
think it's to do with posture, though.
Maybe,
Because I
yeah.
think he is leaning forward.
Yeah.
And he's so determined, and because the face and everything. And she has the bat, she's holding it like this, and she's stooped more. And I think, and she's like, sorry, but she's like this.
Yeah.
And I think that really sets off the balance, even though she's higher up.
The thing is also, I think there's a certain realism to it, because I think at that stage, she still loves Jack.
Yeah.
And it's like she can't
She's in
comprehend what's happening.
bewilderment.
She's like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Don't come near me, don't come near me.
she's in
Because she
shock.
hasn't actually been physical with her before. He's accidentally, pulled Danny too hard and stuff. But he's never struck,
No.
never struck her.
Give me the bat.
Stay away from me!
Stop swinging the bat.
Please stop!
Give me the bat, Wendy.
She's not a violent person. She's not going to go whack across his head like this. She does it at the last moment because he's literally reaching for her. So you can feel her kind of like anxiety and her nervousness of like,
Should I, shan't
should I? Yeah, she's doubting herself.
Yeah.
She's doubting the situation.
Well, she's probably processing, what has he been doing all this time writing that?
It's like, is it a good read?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little repetitive, isn't it? But I mean, she's just discovered that, so her mind must be just going, what?
It's like a whizzing.
We've been here 6 months and he's written that?
All I can think of is that poor secretary of Stanley Kubrick having to type out or
Because it's all in different
formats.
I mean, it's not
different-
photocopied.
No,
That's the
it's-
one thing you look for.
Yeah.
And it's like some of it is paragraphed differently, some of it's
Yeah.
I mean,
some of it's done in prose form, some of it, and you just think they could have totally nowadays. They could have just taken one photo or three variants of it, photocopied it, and just put it in a stack and had loads. And knowing nowadays, they'd have probably had thousands. That they'd have had it raining from the ceiling or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It would have been like so over the top
Yeah.
that you're like, oh, come on. But this, you know, the physicality of actually typing out all these different
and
variants.
she goes through so many pages.
Yeah. And it's just because
and you look out for you look out to see if it's all different.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it
you
is.
do.
Every page is
and it
different.
is.
Yeah, there's even a few little spelling mistakes, some corrections. It just shows in a visual way the mental state of him.
Yeah.
It's the more she goes
It's
through
shocking.
it, the more you realise time has gone back. How far back had this started happening?
Yeah. And I think for the viewer and for her, it just confirms that
Time to leave.
something's going on here. There is a respite that actually takes you out of the hotel. So you have
Yeah.
a bit of a breather, and that's when you
Yes.
go to where Mr. Hallorann is.
In Florida.
And I mean, you know you're in Florida and you just feel warmth.
Yeah, there's warmth and
There's
colour.
warmth and colour, and he's chilled and he's
Yeah.
watching television. And I think it's just that aspect that you're watching TV and you just think, I'm away from that for the moment.
Yeah, there's a real focus on the weather. It's like, well, in Florida, we're having this heat wave. In Colorado, having record storms and snow. And it's like, ooh.
Officials in Colorado tell Newswatch at least 3 people have been killed by exposure to freezing winds.
And the decor is something else in that
Very
room.
70s.
Above the bed.
I
is
love
brilliant.
that. I
Yeah.
love
but
that.
he's so relaxed,
Yeah.
and you're relaxed for just a very short moment, and then you hear the heartbeat soundtrack.
That gradual zoom, well, just focus in
Yeah.
on him, get closer and closer, and the heartbeats. And what a performance, because he's sitting there like quite sort of staid, and then just slowly by slowly his eyes are opening, and he just manages to convey this absolute horror
All
on
this
his
imagery.
face. It's really great,
Yeah.
really great bit.
Yeah.
For me, that whole sequence where they're showing his progress, he's on the plane, there's the heartbeat, and then he gets to the location, and he's at the airport, and I just think that's not necessary. And what's interesting is in the British cut of it, that wasn't included. So
It's just his arrival.
you just see him on the plane, and you see him in the snowcat coming up the hill. That's all you see of Mr. Hallorann's journey, and it's such.
He does a lot.
As a plot device, Mr. Hallorann doesn't get much.
I mean, he travels so far.
He goes to so much effort, and all he literally does to the plot is allow them to have an extra snowcat that they can escape in at the end of the movie. Do you know what I mean?
He just walks through the front door, and then that's it.
That's it.
And it's
awful.
awful.
It's a shock.
It's awful.
Yeah.
That is when you know things have hit a new low.
It's escalated.
It's hit a new low.
Yeah. Because up to that point, he hasn't killed anyone.
No.
And he's attempted to, but the actual physicality of having that axe.
And it's so brutal.
Yeah, it's really brutal.
Really, really
It's
brutal.
really brutal.
The thing that did cross my mind, which has never crossed my mind before with regards to the snowcat,
Oh, yeah.
is the fact that they get in there, they escape, but he's done that whole journey with there being no fuel.
Yeah.
You never know. Do you know what I mean, though?
No,
Because
I know what you mean.
it's so snowy out there.
So what are you thinking then?
I wasn't thinking anything, but I mean, you know, they could have gone over that slope and then.
Oh, just what a downbeat to the end of the film.
I know it's not like they're going to, but it did make me wonder. I was thinking he's come a really long way in that. I wonder if there's enough fuel in that. Yeah. Anyways, we won't think that way.
Oh my
but,
god! So
yeah.
so ultimately, instead of Jack being frozen at the end of the movie, it would have been
her and the little boy.
Her and the little boy.
But I'm sure his little finger would have told him if that was going to happen.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Tony says.
No fuel, no fuel.
Okay, so even after repeated viewing, Lou, what are you going to give The Shining?
So, yeah, I mean, even though it doesn't necessarily scare me at the beginning,
Yeah.
I think I still get so entertained by the
Yeah.
end of it. I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh,
I
okay.
think,
You're going to give it a
yeah,
9.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
that's
give
a
it a
good
9.
score. That's a
Yeah.
really good score.
Yeah.
I also am going to give it a 9.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those films that, even on repeated viewing, there's so much in there. There's so much to see. It's the symmetry of the shots. It's the length of the shots. It's just a really classy, scary movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really good.
There's a lot to this movie.
Yeah.
It's got so many layers,
Yeah.
and in this short video, we haven't covered
Not by a long shot.
any of them really. So, with that in mind,
Yeah.
please let us know your thoughts on this movie. Any details of like the shoot or anything that we haven't brought up that we may not know
Yeah.
would be so interesting.
It would be really good. And also, if you could like and subscribe to this video, that would be amazing. It'd be great to get some comments and stuff. And obviously, if you haven't seen The Shining, it'd be worth watching now that we've spoiled it for you.
And any suggestions of future movies that we should watch,
Yeah.
please put them in the comments.
Absolutely.
And yeah, hope to see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.